Hi, series recapped here. Today, I am going to explain the fifth part of a post-apocalyptic science fiction series called The 100. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. After the crash landing of the Exodus ship, the 100 go to the crash site to check it. None of the people who boarded the ship are alive. Clark looks through the ruins, trying to find her mother in the pile of burnt dead bodies. Raven finds a source of hydrazine, an extremely dangerous chemical that can cause an explosion at any time. They return to the camp for their safety after picking up the useful things from the ruins. At the camp, everyone is on their feet, waiting for the grounders to retaliate after what happened on the bridge yesterday. The security is tight, which is bad news for Octavia, since she cannot go outside to meet Lincoln. Suddenly, a noise from the bushes alerts everyone. They carefully check to see a heavily injured Murphy behind it. It turns out that he was abducted and tortured by the grounders but somehow managed to escape. They bring him inside and wait for Bellamy to tell them what should be done next. Bellamy wants to kill the guy as promised, but Clark stops him. Since he was with the grounders for such a long time, she believes he can be useful to learn more about the enemy. Meanwhile, Jasper has become the talk of the camp after he killed 2 grounders on the bridge yesterday. He is given a bigger tent and more privileges than normal people. A girl starts flirting with him, but Jasper blows her off. His best friend Monty knows he is still waiting for Octavia, which he thinks is pathetic. They get into an argument that ends when Jasper claims Monty is jealous of his rising popularity. Raven is continuously trying to make contact with the Ark, but gets no reply. It is almost as if everyone on board has died. Clark is the most worried about her loved ones. Suddenly, her eyes start bleeding, much to Raven's shock. Outside, a guy named Connor also gets the same symptom. Seconds later, an entire group of people falls unconscious and their eyes start to bleed. The group is the one who rescued Murphy yesterday, which means he brought some kind of virus into the camp that is affecting everyone. Clark talks to Murphy, but he claims to not know anything about the virus. To stop the further spread, they decide to put the infected in quarantine for now. Right then, a guy falls to the ground and struggles before passing away. The environment grows hostile now that anyone can die at any minute. Octavia was the first one to make contact with Murphy, but she somehow is immune to the disease. Still, Clark wants her to be in the quarantine zone for now. When Bellamy is not around, she asks Octavia to go out to find Lincoln because only he knows the cure to the disease. Octavia does as told and reaches the cave where they met the last time. Lincoln checks her for the virus and is happy that she is immune to it. He reveals that if an infected person doesn't die instantly, he will be better in a few hours because the virus is not deadly otherwise. That means Clark and the others will be better in no time. However, the grounders won't give them a chance to reach that point. They plan to attack at dawn the next day. Lincoln can do nothing about it because he has been declared a traitor by his clan members. He is packing his bags to leave for a place beyond the sea. There lives a clan named Allies of the Woods, which will take him in. He wants Octavia to join, but she has to warn her people first. They separate after Lincoln agrees to wait for her to return. In the camp, more people start getting infected one after another. When panic arises, people become irrational and start pointing guns at each other. Clark stops them all, making them realize they cannot kill each other before the grounders kill them. Suddenly, she goes weak in her knees and has to be held by Finn. Raven tries to bring him back since he might get infected from the touch, but Finn doesn't care. She feels a pang of jealousy but doesn't react. The camp is in chaos when Octavia arrives and informs them about the grounders' plan to attack in the morning. Most of them are weak and cannot defend themselves, which ensures the enemy's victory. Bellamy and the group start to collect arms and ammunition, but they are running out of gunpowder. Then Finn comes up with a plan. He wants to blow up the bridge to slow down the grounders till afternoon. By then, the effect of the virus will wear off and more people can fight the battle. Bellamy is skeptical about the plan, but their loss is inevitable at the rate the virus is spreading. Raven says she can make an explosive out of hydrazine that they found on the crash site. She carefully fetches the liquid and brings it back to the camp. Using that, a tin can and gunpowder, she expertly makes a dangerous bomb. If the plan fails, they will not have enough gunpowder to fight the grounders, so they hope to get lucky this time. Bellamy wants to plant the bomb, but is unable to do so after he is also infected. Instead, Jasper is given the opportunity. He is not confident in his shooting skills, but he is also the only shooter who isn't sick. In the quarantine area, Murphy feels a lot better than he did earlier. He helps the other sick people, much to their surprise. He also takes care of Connor, the guy who wanted him to be executed a few weeks ago. Finn gets ready to go to the bridge, but finds out Raven has already left with the bomb. Since it can explode anytime, she didn't want to put Finn's life at risk. He and Jasper quickly make their way to the bridge. Jasper asks Monty to join him, but he refuses, still mad about the argument they had earlier. Raven is almost at the bridge when her nose starts bleeding, confirming that she has also been infected. A while later, she can barely move, but she is adamant about completing the mission. She somehow reaches the bridge and plants the bomb, but cannot move back. Just then, a war horn is heard from the grounders' side. They are minutes away from coming to the bridge. Finn runs to save her just in time and hides her nearby while Jasper gets ready to shoot the explosive. He misses the first few rounds before Monty arrives with another gun and motivates him. By now, the grounders are on the other side of the bridge. With the next shot, Jasper blows up the bridge, stopping them from attacking. Fortunately for them, the plan is successful. In the following scene, Octavia goes to the cave to meet Lincoln as promised. He gets ready to leave with her before she reveals she doesn't want to. She feels a sense of responsibility toward her people and will not run away when they are in a crisis. Lincoln is heartbroken but knows that he cannot change her mind. Octavia plants a last kiss on his cheek and returns to the camp. Raven is brought to the quarantine center to rest. When she and Finn are together, she tells him that their relationship isn't working. Finn does love her, but not in the way she wants to be loved. He doesn't argue otherwise, confirming her suspicion. Raven hands him her necklace, asking him to go away. A while later, she falls asleep. The only two people in the quarantine center except her are Connor and Murphy. Murphy quietly strangles Connor to death, taking revenge for how he was treated. 2 days have passed since the incident. Clark and Bellamy are worried because the grounders never retaliated, which would only mean they are planning a bigger attack. Moreover, they are now sure that no one in the Ark has survived after the crash. Then we see Kane lying unconscious in an empty hallway. Suddenly, the vents open, providing him with enough oxygen. He wakes up after 2 days and starts looking for other people. Most of the Ark is empty, but he finds an engineer named Wick stuck to a door. He helps the guy by getting the door open, and the two set off to look for more survivors. They find a dozen people huddled together in a room. Some of them are dead, but the surviving ones join them and make their way to the common room. On the ground, Octavia is working in the meat furnace. A guy carelessly lights the flames higher, causing the entire oven to catch on fire. Their stock of meat is burnt to the ground, which only causes more problems. With the supplies they have left, they cannot survive for more than 3 days. Bellamy gathers groups of 3 and sends them to hunt. They have to be extra careful of the grounders who might have set traps for them. Finn, Octavia, and a guy named Miles team up and set off to look for food. Raven sees them and is filled with jealousy yet again. She wants to go far away to get her mind off Finn, but Bellamy stops her. Since she is the only person who can establish a connection with the Ark, he wants her to stay in the camp. They agree to make walkie-talkies to communicate, which might be useful in the future. In the woods, Clark and the group come across the footprints of an animal that are a little too perfect. Before they can investigate further, a grounder's arrow shoots Miles and wounds him gravely. The other two are abducted by the leader, Anya. Back on the Ark, Kane inspects the opening vents and realizes someone from the Earth monitoring room is using the control panel. He and the group quickly go to the room but see that the way to it is blocked because of the explosion. Wick manages to establish a connection with the other side of the room and finds out it is filled with the engineers and the Chancellor. Kane is grateful that the Chancellor is still alive, but he has to think of a way to get him and the others out of the room. The Chancellor wants him to take care of the survivors instead. However, the survivors join hands to unblock the passageway and help the Chancellor. In the grounders' hideout, Finn and Clark are told to heal a teenage girl who was severely injured in the bridge explosion. The group's healer, Lincoln, is gone, so they desperately need Clark's help because she is the healer of the 100. If she cannot save the girl's life, Finn will be killed. By the end of the night, the hunters return with food except for Finn and Clark. Raven assumes they are hooking up, which bothers her even more. She goes to Bellamy's tent and hooks up with him to make herself feel better. Bellamy also agrees to help her. Back on the Ark, Kane saves the Chancellor and the engineers' lives. They find almost 1,000 survivors and assume all others are dead. Wick also finds out that there must be survivors in the service bay who were left out of the Exodus ship. Kane goes to do some digging and finds a group of people. Abby is among them, alive but extremely weak. Meanwhile, Clark does her best to save the girl with the little medical equipment they have. However, she is too far gone to be brought back with the available medical tools. In the end, the girl dies and Finn is taken away to be killed. When Clark is alone with the Grounder, she distracts him and manages to escape. At the same time, people in the camp set out to look for the duo since they haven't returned yet. They use the new walkie-talkies to communicate and separate into several groups. Suddenly, Monty sees something and freezes in shock. Somewhere else, Bellamy finds an injured Miles who reveals the other two have been abducted. By now, Monty is lost and his walkie-talkie is on the ground. In the last scene, we see Clark running towards the camp, but she falls into a tarp and hangs upside down from a tree. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.